on the line, but want to remind you again, the first guest we talked to was Orlando Little Jr., talking to us about the Lando's Lab Camp. Lab standing for literacy and basketball. Yeah, excuse me, it's been a minute. And then the way to get in touch with him is on Facebook, Orlando Little Jr., or Instagram, OLJ.0 on Instagram, Orlando's _L.A.B. on Instagram to get in touch with him and to register for Lando's Lab Camp. This year he's going to be very succinct, very intentional was one of the words he used in terms of equipping our young people for their next levels, right? So you definitely don't want to wait, parents. Make sure you do some talking to your child every day. Do some reading with your child or children every day. It doesn't always have to be a school book. It could be a comic book. It could be a magazine. Just read, learn new words, talk about stuff. You know, put the phone down, stay away, or reduce your screen time as much as possible. Because we know with all of the screen time and the games, and that's questionable. That's my own personal thing, and they call it games. Again, that's questionable. If you know, you know. And our children really need that human touch, that human connection. And we are human people, and we were designed, developed, and created to be connected to other human people. Okay? So if you want to talk to me about that later, you know what to do. 269-349-1660. Give me a call up here, and we can chat about it, or we can schedule you for an interview, and we can talk about the human side of things, you know, uplifting humanity, normalizing conversations with your humans, all right? Oh, that's a topic right there. And speaking of that, in the house is the one and only Dr. Leatrice Brooks with Chosen PLLC. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I am good. I want to thank you so much for cutting out some time and getting on here on this May 2nd afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what we got? You always have something juicy.
Hey.
Dr. Brooks is our psychologist in the house. And, yeah, we're going to learn something today.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so number one, if I sound funky, y'all, is because we done had 4 seasons today here in Michigan. I saw some flurries on the way in. I said, wait a minute, it is like 40-something. So my allergies are not feeling that, but we here anyway.
Indeed, yeah.
So today we are going to talk about don't wait for crisis, recognizing when it's time to seek support. And I'm actually we're gonna talk about this from a mental health kind of personal perspective, but it was actually in me looking at some work with businesses and organizations that got me to this topic. So I also do some executive coaching workshops and speaking with organizations, and I was noticing that they keep having the same problems over and over and over again. And not really doing anything about it. And they know that there are problems there, or they, you know, put a little ointment on it and then keep moving, but not really actually getting to the heart of the matter so that we can resolve the issues. And then something clicked for me, because I was like, this sounds familiar. Like, that concept is not new to me. And I remember the statistic, and I looked it up to see what are the current stats. And the current stat is that on average, it takes people 11 years of knowingly having an issue before they seek help. 11 years. You know you got a problem.
11 years before help is seriously sought.
Yep. 11 years. And for some mental health disorders, it's even up to 30 years. 30 years of struggling with something before you actually seek help. And so we're going to talk today about, let's not wait until it's a crisis. Let's not wait until everything is falling apart before we actually say, you know what, maybe I need to talk to somebody. And I was thinking about that when you said that we are designed to be connected to others. There are some others that we can be connected to help us deal with the things on day number one. When we realize that, this situation may impact me in some sort of way, let me at least get it checked out. and see what's going on. Let's start to have a conversation. Let me let somebody else tell me whether or not I need to work on this. And most of the time we know, but allow somebody else to help you and give you some guidance so that we're just not suffering by ourselves. And we're not suffering at all, because it doesn't have to last as long as we allow it to.
True.
It doesn't. And that's the part that, you know, one of the things we'll talk about this in this first point is noticing and notice. So recognizing the early signs that we tend to ignore. We know something has changed with us. We know we feeling a little more irritable. We looking at folks sideways. We know we feel tired. We don't have interest in things we usually do. Things don't feel like fun. I don't want to talk to this person who I usually talk to. We know that something has changed. And we have to look at that as an indication of maybe I need to get some help with this. Right? So we'll say, okay, well, I don't want to talk to them, and it's okay, and they understand because they know that I'm going through, or that this thing happened, and it'll be fine. And one of the things I see sometimes too is people are trying to drag friends and family and loved ones to get some help. Because everybody knows. That's another thing, y'all. Tell the people, because you notice them too. I tell people who are real close to me, I said, look, don't have me out here looking crazy. You better tell me if you see something that I don't see, or something that I see, but you can recognize that I am ignoring it, because it's a known issue. And so just make sure that we are noticing what's happening, and that we're actually checking in with ourselves to see, what do I think is going on, and not just pushing it to the wayside and saying it'll be better tomorrow. It will not be better tomorrow if you didn't do nothing about it today.
Yeah, and oftentimes, unfortunately, we live in a society where we kind of excuse things away.
Yes.
Right? It's not comfortable to really look within, because you got to do so many things outside of you.
Yes.
And we allow other things to distract, or we intentionally and on purpose make our schedule so busy where we have nothing else to do.
You have no time. I'll have no time to actually sit down to it, because I got this and I got this and I got this, and and you gonna crash, right?
Yeah. Only to do it again.
Exactly. I remember I was this is medically related, but I was in a car accident, and it was on a Friday. And then I got to work on Monday, and I knew that I was off. I was like, my stamina is not here. Like, I was starting to fade during the day, and I usually am good. And then Tuesday, I got to work, and my coworker says, "You look bad." Right. It's like 8:30 in the morning. She was like, "You look bad." And I got up and I looked in the mirror. I look bad. I don't know what happened on the 30-minute drive to work, but I looked bad. And so she was so concerned about me, she and another coworker, that they actually drove me home 30 minutes from Battle Creek. They drove me home, and I went home and I took a nap. I went to urgent care, and then lo and behold, I had a concussion from the accident. Now, so in urgent care, she took me off work for a week. And as the week went on, I ended up with all the symptoms of a concussion. I had light sensitivity, noise sensitivity. At the end of the week, I had to go back to get an evaluation to determine if I could go back to work. So she was like, "Do you feel like you're ready to go back to work?" I said, "Yes." She said, "No." She said, "No." She said, "I'm not releasing you." And here's the part that I'm bringing home is, she said, "You're either going to crash now, or you going to crash later." Right? Now, you can go to work and you can struggle through it, and eventually you're still going to have to take the time off. So let's just take the time off now. And here's what showed up for me, and what I started thinking about is, this is my brain that I'm talking about. Like, this is my brain that is being impacted. And you only get one of those. And so if I don't pause long enough to take care of my brain, what do I think is going to happen with me? Because I'm be messed up, because I'm over here like, I got to go to work because my boss going to be mad. He'll be all right. He will be okay. He was mad, y'all, but he got over it. I mean, I don't think he did get over it, but at some point I moved on. I don't think he got over it. He was struggling.
my
But that was okay, because I'm still here because I paused to take care of myself. And so we have to look at those symptoms that are telling us that we need some help and actually be okay to receive the help. Because we do that too. We go and somebody tells us, we might see the professional and they tell us what we need to do, and we still don't do it. We still don't do it. And we like, oh, well, it's not that bad, or I don't know if I need that medication, or, you know, I don't know. Get the help.
Yeah.
Notice what's going on and then move from there. All right. So our next point is narratives. And this is one that I think is really big for us, is challenging the stories that we tell ourselves about needing help and what it means to need help. And so we tell ourselves that, oh, I should be able to handle this. Everybody goes through this. This is just a normal something, or their situation is worse than mine and I should be able to be okay. We tell ourselves all of these things that don't help us to get the support that we need. And so we have to challenge that. Oh, you know, people go through this all the time, and this is nothing different than what somebody else has gone through. Okay, but your experience is valid, whatever that is.
True.
And so you just have to own that. If you're having a hard time with it, have a hard time. It doesn't matter. Here's the other thing too. Because other people are not doing what they need to do to take care of themselves, the person that you think is quote unquote strong, they struggling. They struggling in the background with the thing that you think they out here killing and they on top of, because they're not saying anything about their challenges. So one of the things that I think that people say to me often is, because I'm very open with, like, here's the thing, here's what I did differently, and here's where I am now, because I acknowledged it, I noticed it, and then I actually did something about it. And so we have to make sure that we are challenging ourselves to actually do something and push through those messages that we tell ourselves about what it means to actually need help.
Ooh, yep. We have to notice it. We have to be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
Kids is easy not to.
It is. It is. And so I'm going to give you a shout out. Because one of the things, and I know I told you this in a text message, was that I love that you paused to take a moment to just be. Because a lot of people don't.
True.
They don't. They like, look, I got work. This stuff has got to get done. It will be okay. It will be okay. The risk is that I'm not going to be okay if I don't do that, right? Absolutely. And so not only, because here's another example of what I observed as well, is not only did you pause to take a minute to just breathe, but you got some backup in here today, right? Because Magic D is here, like, ready to jump in and do all the things, like, because we expect that, okay, I took the time off and I'm going to be and I'm going to go and I'm going to jump back in and pick up where I left off. No. No. And it's okay if you don't. It's okay to ask somebody, look, I need some help through this. Or like, look, make sure I'm not missing none of the things, or, you know?
That's true.
Yeah. And
yeah,
so just...
I'm thankful for it. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Definitely. We need that. And we'll be okay if we can just learn to normalize needing somebody.
Yeah.
Or needing a whole group of people.
Yeah.
A support system. And I happen to be, favored to have a great support system. So thank you. I
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we either are going to get the help now or we're going to get it later.
Yeah.
And if we get it later, unfortunately, sometimes it has cost us a lot. So from a medical standpoint, I'm going to give you an example. I was doing some inpatient work, and there was a patient that they recommended for a psych eval. So I go into this patient. It was a physical rehabilitation center. And so I go into the patient. I said, hey, tell me about what brings you in. And he said, stupid. And I said, tell me more. And he said, stupid. Stupid. I was walking around. I stepped on something. I had a sore on my foot. And I'm diabetic. So, it was bleeding a little bit, oozing a little bit. I just put a sock on and I kept going. And then when that sock got nasty, because he had bled through the sock, and then it was oozing, He just put another sock on and kept going.
Oh.
And now, at the point that I am seeing him, he has had to have his leg amputated.
Oh my gosh.
Because his foot died. But this is what we are doing all the time when it comes to our mental health issues. We just out here putting socks on like we didn't see that we was hurt. And then we forget that if we don't deal with it in this moment, when we know that it's a problem, it is going to cost us something later.
Yep. That's true.
It's going to cost us something later, right? How many people do you know in your life that got a problem and you can pinpoint, oh yeah, because that's related to this issue that they got over here. You see it oozing out in other areas of their life because they didn't pause to actually deal with the known issue.
True. Yeah, we see it too often.
So we have to be intentional to make sure that that we're actually dealing with what's going on and normalizing it for ourselves and for other people. So don't be afraid to tell somebody else, hey, I'm concerned about you. And I really want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself.
Absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you for that.
Yeah. And if you go to a mental health professional and you think you got an issue and you don't, they'll tell you. They'll be like, oh, no, you're fine. People ask me that sometimes. They're like, am I okay? And I'll tell them, like, no. And sometimes you are okay. You are okay for the moment that you're in right now. With whatever you're dealing with, you're okay.
All right. And what's your next step?
All right. So then this last one is called next. So after next. There's got to be a next, right?
Right?
So after you notice what's happening, after you challenge the narratives, you actually have to do something next. And so you have to choose, like, what are some actions that I can take that's going to move me from where I am to where I want to be. So it may not be that on day number 1, I'm going to go to see a mental health professional. It may be that I tell somebody else that I'm having a difficult time and say, hey, I'm noticing this. It may be talking to somebody who is close with you and letting them in on the experience that you're having. It's noticing. I remember having an experience where I had a bad experience with a supervisor. When I got to my next supervisor, I told him, I said, I'm going to tell you out the gate. My last supervisory experience was not good.
Okay.
And I might have some baggage. I just told him, so I was like, I don't know how this y'all, she busting up laughing. I'm just being real. I was like, I don't know how this gonna go. And so I told him, I said, because it was bad. And so I told him, I said, if I'm tripping, tell me. If you see something, okay, tell me what's so funny about that. Y'all, she over here.
Relate.
You can.
I can relate, and it's beautiful when, another person uses the exact words that you have used in the past.
Yeah.
So, or me, in
Yeah.
my case. That's why it was funny. It's
Okay.
very highly relatable.
Yeah. But I was like, look, I might have some baggage. So here's how, and I actually told him, I said, here's how I usually show up. If you see something, because I was just meeting this new supervisor, I said, here's how I usually show up. If you see something other than that, if you see these kinds of things, behaviors, that's telling you I got some baggage. So that he would know what it is to look for, and then he could help me to help myself.
Absolutely can.
If something was going on. So let somebody know what you're dealing with. Let them know that you're struggling. I've even had people who have needed therapy before, and they show up with a friend. A friend brings them to the appointment because they're that nervous about coming. You don't even have to come to the appointment by yourself. Tell someone, ask somebody, hey, can you come with me to this? And the friend didn't come in and we talked about that. Your friend can come into the session if you want, or they can just wait for you in the lobby. That's okay.
Now, is that common practice?
What? To
That
bring somebody?
individuals can bring a support. Yeah.
I mean, I think it depends on the therapist, but I don't know that if your therapist tells you can't bring a support person, then you probably need to get a different one.
Okay, that's what I needed to hear, you know.
Get a different
because
one.
oftentimes people don't know, and you know that's
Yes.
one of the things that keeps individuals away
Yes.
from getting help if they can't.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, if they reached out to get an appointment with a therapist, and
Yep.
then they bring someone or something, you know,
Yeah.
pillow, blanket, and stuff.
Yes.
I think that should be part of
Absolutely.
the process.
Absolutely. We've had people that show up, they bring a friend comes with them and they just sit there in the lobby with them, and then I'll bring them back and they're fine to come back on their own. Sometimes they'll bring the friend in and we start the appointment, and then the friend will go out and sit in the lobby. Sometimes they sit there the whole time and they just don't say anything through the whole appointment. Other times, but that's part of what I do, is I'll ask them, to what level do you want this person involved or engaged in this conversation? And they'll let you know.
That's good.
I have pillows in my office. Yes, I do have a real life couch, and I have pillows in my office. And people sit with the pillows, like they come in and they like, let me get my pillow, and they put it on their lap, and like that's their thing. Or one of my pillows, it likes to, it has feathers in it. They have picked the feathers out. It looks so sad. No, I'm just playing. But they do. If a feather is poking through, they'll pick it out and they'll apologize later. I'm like, look, whatever keeps you, self-soothing, that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. But I would rather you have the help and seek the help and make the attempt than not. We've had people who call and they call with somebody else there in the room while they're on the phone making, because I need that support in order to make this next step. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's got to be okay.
Yeah.
If therapists, I don't keep that to myself. But yeah, it should be okay. That would help an individual or a group of individuals get past or through something.
Don't keep it to yourself. Look, if you go to a provider and they're not allowing you to do the thing that feels supported to you, and it's a healthy something, then maybe it's not a good fit.
True.
Maybe it's not a good fit, and that's okay. I've had people who they have said, like, I met with multiple therapists before, but this feels different. Great. And I'm so glad that you didn't give up on therapy, because that was not a good fit for you.
Yeah. That is absolutely, positively, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Doc.
Yes.
For points 1, 2, and 3, can you give a quick, 40-second recap?
Yes. The sooner you seek support, the better. Don't wait too long. Don't wait until you're ready to tap out and you have nothing left, and now we got to drag you into services. Be proactive. Let somebody else know what you're thinking and feeling. Allow somebody to help you in the areas that you need so that you can function at your best and at your maximum capacity, because you actually have, whether you believe it or not, you have something to offer the world and the community. And you can only do that when you are healed. And so we need to take the time to pause to make sure that we are healed enough to be able to pour into somebody else, and also know that there are people who want to pour into you, to support you, to help you to reach whatever the goals are that you have. And somebody else can actually learn from your experience. So you don't have to be afraid to talk about it. I mean, you don't have to tell the whole world, but somebody can benefit from what you have gone through, because it will help them when they're dealing with certain challenges as well. And so there is something that can come from this experience, and it doesn't have to take you out the game.
Indeed. Thank you so much for sharing that, for leveling all of that out, because we're all in this thing together. So, please share with the people. How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so we are Chosen PLLC. You can find us at .com. And our number is 866-232-5389. If you are just curious about having a conversation with someone, just call and somebody will get back to you and you can talk it through. They'll help you to find it. You don't have to know what therapist you want to work with. Even if you don't want to work with us, but you just want to find somebody else. Call us. We'll help you to get to somebody else, even if it's not in our practice, because we just want people to get help.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you coming back on my first Saturday of return.
Yes, ma'am.
And always nuggets of life advice, life lessons, hope.
Yes.
You know, that's what we need more of. We need more hope.
Yes.
And the way you are able to break things down is very much appreciated by a lot of people.
Yeah.
You don't live in the world of big words and, you know, medical jargon and all of that stuff. Not saying it's not good, but it's also good that I will call you bilingual. Multilingual.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So that's multilingual.
Yes.
And we have to be like that, you know.
Yes.
Give things in a practical delivery instead of all of this other stuff. People live too much and too high in their titles.
Look.
Not taking anything away. You worked hard for it, but at the same time, you work with real people.
I can't help nobody if they don't know what I'm talking about.
Come on. That's
What?
true. That is so true. So, Dr. Leatrice Brooks with Chosen PLLC, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. And with that, we're going to turn to the music because I'm back and I'm going to claim back in stride again, right? Y'all remember Frankie? Beverly, that is. Right here on 96.5 WTOU.